Hello there. Okay, you see how tired I am? Yeah, this Gemini full moon, which happens on the East Coast at just after midnight tonight, it's a little rough, right? I don't know if you're feeling it, but I think you are. And oh my goodness, there's just so much thought and so much to look at, and it seems like it's impossible. Just too much to do, to think about. No answers. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at how this feels. We're going to look at our options that astrology shows us. And then we're going to make the most out of these frustrations, because we know by now that when we're on the path to enlightenment, the frustrations are just there to help us grow, right? Okay, so my name's Karen. Welcome to my kitchen. Welcome to Ninth House Journey channel. And each week I'll talk about some astrological fun that's happening. And also, if you'd like to be part of the email group that me and my beloveds are forming, please just email me. It's in the description. And each week I share some insights about this month. We're focusing on the solar eclipse on the December 26th. So you're invited. All right, let us look at, I have my notes here today, guys, because I know that I'm really bad about staying focused. Okay. All right, what does this feel like? This feels like the sun is in Sagittarius, right? So if you remember when the new moon was in Sagittarius 2 weeks ago, it was very festive because we had Venus and Jupiter on the galactic center. Oh my gosh, big dreams, yay, love, love, love. We were feeling expanded. And now Venus has traveled 2 weeks later, when the moon is now on the opposite side of the sky in Gemini across from Sagittarius. Now Venus has moved into a very difficult position. She is in between Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. All right, so Saturn is the planet of, work hard, no excuses. And Pluto is, all right, I'm going to just take everything out of your life right now that you don't need, but I'm going to do it really slow. Okay. And I don't care how attached you are to it. That's what Pluto says. So here's Venus. Venus just wants to feel good. She just wants to relate and work on fun projects and bask in the wealth of, life. So here she is, between a rock and a hard place, so to speak. So this is a very different energy, right? This is where we feel squeezed and pressured. And you know that there's that part of life that's just not friggin' making sense. You can't figure it out, right? You tried, it feels like, oh my God, I tried everything. I've thought of everything and nothing is happening. Nothing is working. I keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay. Oh, let's take a breath and kind of take a step back from that. And let's look at the astrology from the perspective of the different elements, the 4 elements. And we will see how we can turn this into something awesome. All right, so fire signs. Fire signs, this is like, we're talking about your passions. I'm Sagittarius, so our passions and our need, we've wanted in the past year with Jupiter, right? We wanted to just expand, like how we relate to the world and how we create what we believe in. Oh my gosh, I can finally believe in the best. Like this is so great. And we thought, oh my gosh, life is going to just be so great. And it is going to be great, but there's a lot of hard work that has to happen. And, in those manifestation houses, it's been pretty limited and restricted. The job, or just trying to get everything done. The to-do list is just like, like too much stuff. And where am I going with my life? Like, what am I even creating here? I don't know, because every time I think I'm going to go in a certain direction, I just get like limited, right? Okay, so the Gemini moon is there in looking at the people and the places and situations and saying, okay, what's here? Who can I, which one of these people or these environments that I show up in, what partners and what connections in the world, like where's my tribe, and who here is my tribe, and are who can help me align better with these passions, this passionate expression that I want to, start making in the world. And it's super confusing, right? Because, while we're trying to connect, we have like all these things to do that aren't really working out the way we wanted them to, right? So at the same time, while we're kind of aligning and gathering the facts about where we spend our time and who we spend our time with, we have Neptune in Pisces in very emotional place in our life, and telling us, hey, you know how to feel good. I know you feel confused about things, but you really do. If you check in with your intuition, you know how to feel good, right? So that is a really good source. Like, maybe right now the facts are not visible or they're confused, but we can check in with our intuition, because Neptune's been here for a really long time, right? Neptune's been whispering to us, hey, don't you feel like this feels like home? And doesn't this feel like trust? And doesn't this feel like, oh my gosh, you can finally relax in life and have peace of mind? Neptune maybe was like confusing us here and there, but it's been quite a while now. Neptune's halfway through Pisces. So, now we can start to get in touch with those intuitions that can guide us, right? So what is super important here? I would say, and all the astrologers that I watch say that, Venus is the relationships and the projects that we truly value. And hey, let's not forget what we value. And let's be willing to work hard, and let's be willing to make change for those things. And what I would suggest right now is that we don't have to do it, we don't have to change today, okay? Let's just get in touch with what manifestations, what physical needs do we need in our lives. And, let's just set the tone inside, okay? We're going to just use the frequency. Get in touch with, all right, this is what I need, and this is why I need it. All right. And today we're just going to focus on that and then see what happens. All right. All the questions don't have to be answered today. All right. So let's move on to the air signs. So air signs, you're also dealing with your passions and connections, but what we are dealing with from the air sign perspective is, we've been focused in the past year on expanding our connections in the world, partners and friends and tribe and, the people that we see every day. We've been like trying to like hey, let's make this like a bigger part of my life, you know? And now the moon is across from there, from that part of life, you know, over into like the passions. Like, okay, let me like look at what do I truly believe in, and what do I really want to create, and how do I want to like just interact with the world. So that can be like, there just can be so many options, and maybe so many people, and maybe so many opportunities to connect, but gosh, we don't really know which one to take, right? And the ones that we have been taking aren't working out. Like, and why is that? Oh, frustrating. And you know, maybe they're working out, but then it's just not going smoothly, or we just, oh, I just really want to connect with this person and I can't, or this. So here we're going to look at where Venus and Saturn and Pluto are, and they're sitting in the emotional part of our life. Okay, so this is where we're getting squeezed, and this is where the emotion is like maybe holding us back, you know, because we really now are like, oh, I just want to feel like at home in my life. I want to feel that security, and I want to feel this this trust, the trust that I need, you know, in other people and in myself. And I am so tired of feeling like lost in the world. Can I just feel connected to spirit? Can I just feel like I can relax into life and not have to fight, or not have to fight to be heard, or not have to fight to be, you know, to find the people that really can understand me. Yeah, right? So Neptune is reminding us, you know what? Your physical life has the answers that you need. Like, you can create a foundation for yourself, as far as, what is my daily life looking like? You know, what am I scheduling into my life? What am I working on every day? How's my health? How is my career and my job? You know, we can get a lot of answers just from really intuiting what it is that we need. Okay, we can get to know ourselves on a different level just by saying, hey, self, what do you need in a job? You know, what do you need in resources? You know, this is the kind of insight that can really work well with making us feel those emotions that give us equilibrium. All right, so we're going to just ask ourselves, what do we want to feel? How do we want to feel? Maybe not like we feel right now, but that is such good information, because when we know what we don't want to feel, then we can focus on what the opposite. Then we know what we do want to feel. And then all of these, you know, confusions about, well, how am I going to express myself in the world? I want my passion back. You know, I want what I want. You know, why can't I find a place to do that? You know, when we get to know ourselves better, those passionate questions will become a lot more simple, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just get to know ourselves better emotionally and use that energy to attract to us the answers that we seek. And they might not come today. They might come today, but it might not be today. But it will be here sooner than if we don't know ourselves at all, right? All right, so let's try to have the patience, and let's try to commit to how, to feeling good in life. It's possible. We can do it. We just have to keep showing up for ourselves, right? All right, so now we're going to move to the earth signs. Earth signs are now working with emotions and manifestations as part of the focus that has been in this lunar cycle, meaning since the new moon and since all years since Jupiter was in there. So for earth signs, that emotional part that we just talked about has been expanding in the past year, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can feel so much more at home. I know I could feel so much more at ease with my connection to spirit, and I could feel amazing in my intimate relationships and in my trust. And right now, the moon is like from the perspective of, is in the perspective of, the physical structures of life. Okay, so maybe the physical structures, as in what I do every day, how I do it, my job, my career, the roles I play, all of those things might be like really whacked out right now. Like, there's just too much to do. I can't do it. It's too much to look at, and I'm there and I'm feeling this like push and pull in my daily life and what I'm trying to create. And in the meantime, I just can't express myself. There's no time to express myself. Oh my gosh, there's like, no one's listening to me. Why is no one listening to me? And because, the self-expression and the passion that we want in life is just being restricted and restricted and restricted. Because we have to know like what is really our passions. That's what restriction does. This is that it narrows down the field, of, okay, what's important to me. Maybe at one time all of this was important to me, but life just goes and comes down, and then you realize, okay, I have this much space. Only the super important things can fit in here. And then that's how we identify them. A little pressure from universe. And that information though is so priceless. Like, what relationships do I really feel passionate about? And how do I want to express myself in the world? And how can I express myself in a world that feels so satisfying? And what do I believe? What is my adventure? Come on, like, I just want to feel adventure in my life. How can I feel that? And what do I really believe when all my beliefs have been like maybe chipped away and what's left? What do I still hold on to no matter what? All right. That's all such really valuable information about the self that can carry us through the hard work and the hard choices and the commitment to change that really needs to happen in the way we express ourselves. So where is the intuition for earth signs? Intuition is found in our connections with, the environments that we're in and the people. We can feel that. We can feel who's supportive of us and who is not. And maybe we're disappointed by, who is there for us and who is not. Maybe it doesn't match what we wanted to happen. But perhaps it doesn't matter as much in some cases. We think that we need to be heard in some cases, but maybe the person that needs to hear us is us. And that is being reflected in other people. And sometimes we put that on other people. Like when we don't listen to ourselves and then we go and talk to someone in our life and we're like, oh, they're not hearing me. But maybe they are, but maybe we're just not hearing ourselves. And so we read other people as our mirrors, as not, listening to us. That's a possibility. But how are we going to know unless we start to really listen to what we have to express? And then once we really know that, we can use our intuition to feel out the people and situations in our life. And then we'll really know for sure, because then we're not like projecting, self-neglect out there. We're projecting out what we've achieved, which is a super loving connection and value about what's important to us, about our projects, about the relationships that, we want to express ourselves in. Okay? So, yes, let's focus, Earth signs, on what we are passionate about. Okay, and water signs now. Water signs are the opposite. So the focus for the past year has been like, oh my gosh, I can manifest all these cool things in my life. I could have the best job and the best career, and I could definitely make more money and have the resources that I want, And now the moon across in the emotional part is saying, okay, I'm feeling a lot of stuff now. I'm looking around and I'm trying to figure out in my feeling area, how is home for me? How are relationships where I'm like merged, whether it's financial relationships or personal relationships? How am I feeling in there? And how am I feeling in with life? How do I feel with God, with Source, with universe? How can I bring into my life the things that I want through having a more clarity about my emotions? Now, what's kind of confusing the emotions is the connections. So, partners and teammates and workmates, the people that we see every day, and our tribe, our friends, the organizations that we're associated with. I just got a funny message. Okay, so, and how are those connections going? Man, they're squeezed. I just cannot get to the people that I want to get to. I don't know why. I don't have time. I have too much to do. I really want to connect and I can't. And, but Neptune is telling us from the point of view of our passions, from the point of view of our beliefs and what we want to create and how we want to express ourselves. Like Neptune's saying, hey, you know who's important to you. You can feel it. And okay, maybe you're restricted right now, but now you know who it is. Now you know the feeling that you want. When you connect to the world, you know that feeling that you want to have. And what we can do with that is recognize like who is so important to us and what they represent. Like, why is this person so important to us? Why is this situation so important to us? Well, how does it make me feel? What does it say about my values? What does it say about what makes me happy and what I want in my life? And that kind of self-knowledge is so important, because then we know ourselves enough to get through the hard times, to say, okay, I don't have time for everything, but I know what's important to me now, so I'm going to make time for this, or I'm going to make time for that, even if it's just like a little bit, even if I just squeeze a little bit out. Like, I need to spend more time with this person because this person helps me feel the way I want to feel. This situation feels like how I want to feel. And when I feel good, I can really manifest cool stuff in my life. All the things, all the big dreams that I had, I can make those things happen with not losing faith during these times of hard work and change and making the hard decisions, but making the hard decisions because we know what we value and who we value and the situations that we value, and that makes the decisions a lot easier, right? You guys, I hope this wasn't too much. I love you all so much. I'm wishing you just a bunch of blessings and hugs and love during this full moon journey. And just hang in there, because we have some good stuff on the weekend coming, all right? Just keep the faith and stay faithful to yourself and love yourself, okay? All right, love you guys. Bye.